Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas. As always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean, but sometimes at Petco Park here at the Holiday Bowl, USC, Louisville. Make sure I get it right, Louisville. Getting ready for the Holiday Bowl tomorrow, so we're going to preview that game right now. Listen, there's a lot of moving parts with USC right now, and I talked about those things at the press conference with Lincoln Riley and Coach Brahm about the early signing period and the transfer portal being right now. I don't think it's probably the best spot for it, but it is what it is. The rules change all the time out here in college football. So USC comes into this game. They are struggling defensively. They've struggled defensively all year. So that's a problem. That's a problem going into this game. Louisville, they have Jake Plummer, quarterback last year when he was at Cal. He really lit up USC. So that really wasn't great for the Bruins to face a familiar opponent. You know, you have some defensive play callers who are, how can I put it, they're going to be on their way out probably for the most part. So how do those guys, you know, really put everything they have into this game? I think that's one of the biggest things you have to worry about if you're USC. Like, not that like the defensive staff would tank, but like, you know, hey, I mean, you know, they know they most likely not going to be back. So that's an issue, no question about it. And USC getting ready for a team that is, yes, Louisville has a lot of players leaving or opting out of the game, which for their futures makes sense, whether it's transfer portal or going to the National Football League. You don't want to get hurt. USC has some guys doing that same thing, but it's some of their best players. And I think they are kind of a fundamentally sound team. I know a lot of people don't like USC's matchup here because this is a fundamentally sound team on defense, on special teams. You know, and they're really good as far as defensive side of the ball, especially in the red zone. Red zone defense has been a trademark of this team all year. You may move it in between the 20s, but when you get into the red zone area, they make you kick field goals. And you know, and that's really something that the USC, you know, they don't really want to do. You don't really want to kick a lot of field goals against a quality opponent. You want to be able to score touchdowns. That's how you win games. That's going to be a problem in this game for them. Can they tackle? It's just tackling. I mean, it really truly is. Excuse me, real quick. It really truly is whether or not USC tackles in this game. If they tackle in this game, they can win it. If they tackle in this game, they can pull off the upset. 7.5 point underdogs to the Cardinal in their first ever meeting between these two schools. But that's the issue. Can they tackle in this game? If they tackle in this game, they have a chance. They have a chance to win the game. If they tackle in this game, they have a chance to pull off the upset, keep it close. And in the fourth quarter, you never know. We all know NFL football, college football. It's a fourth quarter game, and since in those situations, you know, can they do that? I don't know. That is the biggest question. I don't know. I think, you know, maybe some of the practices, some of the time they spent with Coach Belk, Coach Lynn, who you know, maybe that'll help them right now because they want to put on positive film for Lincoln Riley and the new defensive coordinator. Coach Matt Entz is not with the team yet. He's still working with North Dakota State. But it's the biggest issue they have is just tackling, and you don't want to have people, you know, being, you know, to use a quote from, you know, from other people, like, you know, you don't want anybody in the secondary running wide ass open. Like, that's the problem. They're running wide ass open a lot this year, where you're wondering if USC was, you know, playing 11 on 11 or playing 9 on 11, because that's how wide open these players were. So pass rush, tackling the football is a huge part of what USC needs to be able to do in this ball game, and hopefully they can do it, because it's going to be it would be nice to see a good contingent of USC fans come down to Southern California, even closer to Southern California from Los Angeles, to come to Petco Park to see them play and play well and give a good showing and not just get the doors blown off defensively. You just want to see fans be able to come down, watch a good ball game, a spirited effort. If it's anything like last year's Holiday Bowl with Oregon and North Carolina, last play of the game, Bo Nix touchdown pass to give the Ducks the victory, that would be cool to see. But right now, I mean, I think it's hard to pick USC in this ball game. And as much as we love our Trojans, it's going to be very difficult for me to sit here and say, hey, let's just pick them to win this game without being a homer. I think if they just tackle, if they fight in this game, if they actually fight on like for real, maybe the game will be close because you're keeping this team and keeping Coach Braun and his quarterback Plummer in long down and distance. You know, that pass rush from Melo Height, the pass rush interior from Bear Alexander. They're going to make some plays. USC, as bad as they were defensively this year, they still were one of the top teams in football in tackles for loss and plays behind the line of scrimmage. So that, to me, gives them an opportunity to win games. But when they do that, when they get those sacks on second down, make it 2nd and 17, and make it 3rd and 17 or 2nd and 17, they can't give up 14 yards on the next play. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues they have is that right there. So if they can just improve their tackle, I know they're not going to be perfect. They're going to probably make some mistakes. That's possible in this ball game, but if they can just get that young secondary in the right spot, be able to get these linebackers to come down hard and tackle, and then get some pass rush, then of course they can stay in this game. And this is going to be a big. I think Louisville is one of those schools. You never doubt the South. They always bring the party. They always bring a lot of people. Louisville is known in my life more of a basketball school, but the Lamar Jackson effect helped make Louisville a really good football school now. And will people take the trip from all over to come over and watch USC play in the Holiday Bowl? It makes sense because LA's right there, 90-minute, 2-hour drive, whatever, and support the squad. It'd be interesting to see how the crowd is divvied up here once the game starts. But USC has an opportunity here, so let's kind of right the ship and show some life. I mean, I think that's what people want to see is like show some life. Don't be a dud. You can't let the last image of this season be what happened against UCLA. Like that's just really not good football. It was really horrible football to watch. And if USC can if they can do that, kind of will their way and just tackle. If they just tackle, they got this. They have an opportunity to win the game, but they just got to tackle. They got to tackle, and they have to really figure out an interesting plan for Miller Moss, who's making his first start and for USC this year. So I'm going to go with my final score, USC 24, and then Louisville 27. I think the consistency of Louisville all year is going to show a little bit more in this game than USC's. Maybe get off to a fast start. Maybe see some really cool plays from McInerney with a new quarterback. At the end of the day, I just don't feel like USC is going to win the game, but I do think they will stay in the ball game. I think that the whole cloud of the season could be back. It could be behind them, and I think that they're going to be looking forward to this new Big Ten era, this new D'Anton Lynn, and let's get excited for what's to come for USC this year. So 3-point game. I think they cover that 7.5, all those things like that. But I do think Louisville is going to be the prevailing team tomorrow night here at Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres and Mr. Tony Gwynn.